Namaskar friends. Today's topic is very interesting. I'm going to ask questions to Salil about positive thinking, confidence, happiness. So Salil, the first question, when we are stressed, people oftenly suggest us to not to worry and think positive. So is it possible?
Yes, one of the most easy piece of advice and one of the actually the most useless piece of advice people tend to give when we are worried or somebody is worrying is don't worry, everything will be fine. It's almost as if why did I not think about that? Why did I not think I should not worry? Because worry comes naturally. It's not that easy to just turn off worrying. It's not, there is no switch in our mind to, like just turn off worrying. So worrying comes very naturally to us. Another very common thing, like you said, often people tell is think positive, think positive. And there's a lot of this positive thinking kind of messages that go around all the time on the WhatsApp University and also on the internet and also in books. We read a lot about this positive thinking and its benefits. I'm not saying that positive thinking doesn't have benefits. Yes, it does have benefits. My question is positive thinking something that comes naturally to us? As we have talked about in the previous videos about the mind, we have seen that the mind is a survival tool. Its number one job is to keep us alive. And it can only do this job effectively if it analyzes every situation in a threatful way, as a threat to our well-being. So thinking positively is not something that comes very naturally to our mind. So if we go on spending a lot of time and effort in trying to change our thought and start thinking positively, it normally doesn't work. There are a lot of books about this, and then also people say that every day in the morning when you get up you should say positive affirmations about yourself, or when you are faced with a threatful situation or a stressful situation where the outcome is not sure, think positive, everything will be fine. I mean, if it works for you, yeah, please go ahead and do it. The research shows that this kind of positive thinking and affirmations can work in neutral situation. When it comes to situations which are really big and really stressful, positive thinking doesn't really work. So the question or my recommendation to you and to all our viewers is that instead of spending time trying to change our thoughts, can we just let the mind go on doing what it is designed to do and focus on what we can actually do in life instead of waiting for having a particular type of thoughts. So let's try and do the things which we can instead of waiting for positive thoughts.
So if you're saying that positive thinking is not possible in stressed situation, what can be done to reduce stress?
See, I'm not saying that positive thinking is not possible. You can kind of force yourself to have some positive thought. What I'm saying is it is not worth the effort because then it would take you really away from really trying to find some solutions to the problem that you are facing, or take energy away from learning to accept if the situation is not something in your control. Now regarding stress, also this is another big word in the world, stress management. How do I manage my stress? And we read about all the detrimental effects of stress on health, and how stress can give you heart attacks, and how stress can lead to hypertension and all these things. And we also in our clinic for many years, till some years ago, we were telling people that stress is bad for you, and you would read everywhere that stress is bad for health. Actually, the thing is, and this is proven by research, that it is not the stress which is harmful to us, but it is our perception that stress is harmful to us which is more bad for us. Let me just explain to you a little bit about this concept from a physiological point of view. See, whenever we are faced with a stressful situation or a threatful situation, our sympathetic nervous system kicks in and we exhibit a type of a response which is called as the fight, flight or freeze response. I have actually talked about this response in one of the previous videos, but just to recapitulate, so in this fight, flight or freeze response, our body is prepared to run, to fight or to freeze, and this requires certain anatomical changes to happen. So our blood vessels contract, our heart rate increases, our mouth becomes more dry, we feel like emptying our bowels. So these are all the things to prepare our body to run away or to fight or to freeze. Now once the threatful situation passes off on its own, our parasympathetic nervous system kicks in, and all these anatomical changes that were made, like the blood vessels contracting, the heart rate increasing, the dryness of the mouth, all these things are kind of reversed and we come back to normalcy. So now suppose you are in a stressful situation and you have learned that being in stressful situations can be harmful for you. So every time you become stressed, you are going to become more anxious. Oh, I'm getting stressed. Oh, I'm getting stressed. And then this sympathetic nervous system remains heightened all the time. So this anatomical changes then become more predominant. They become more kind of permanent, and this is harmful. So it is not the stress itself which is harmful to us, but it is our perception that the stress is bad for us or harmful for us, which is actually more detrimental. So what I would recommend to all of you is, next time when you get stressed, please understand it's a natural response. There is nothing to be afraid about it, and it will pass on its own. On the other hand, if you go on thinking stress is bad for me, it definitely can maybe create some harm.
खूप छान सांगितलं सलील तू. My next question is, how can we develop or how can we boost confidence?
Yes, there are so many books about this, there are so many talks about it, about how we can boost our confidence. I'm going to start off with really sharing with our viewers and with you what is the meaning of the word confidence. The word confidence, if we break it down into its root words, there are two Latin words, con and fides. The word con means with, and the word fides comes from, it has the same root word as in fidelity, which means faith. So the word confidence actually means with faith, so doing something with faith. But most often we take the word confidence to mean a kind of sense of motivation, that okay, I feel confident to do it, and then often we keep our lives on hold, or we don't start something new because we say, I'm not feeling confident, and once I start feeling confident I will do it. Let me ask you something. Think about anything, any particular thing in your life that you are able to do right now with lot of confidence. It can be a thing like riding a bicycle, or maybe some skill that you have learned, and now which you can perform it with quite a bit of confidence. When you started learning or started practicing this skill, how confident did you feel? As most of us experience, confidence comes after action. Whereas oftentimes we wait for us to feel confident and we think then we will do the action. Normally it doesn't happen like this. Confidence always follows action. So if you really want to develop confidence about something, the best way to get confident is to start doing the thing in which you want to develop this particular confidence. And remember, the meaning of the word is with faith. So start doing the things with faith, and confidence will be a consequence. So confidence never comes before action, it normally comes after action.
Actually, I was going to ask you, is there any pill or any food which will boost the confidence, but you made it so clear, so my question sounds very stupid to myself. The next question I would like to ask, how to be happy in life?
Okay, how to be happy? Again, this is a big business globally. People trying to be happy, and there are also songs about happiness. See, I'm not against happiness. I'm absolutely not happiness. I mean, who would not want to feel happy? But let me just talk to you a little bit about evolution. See, evolution, by evolution, if something is not useful, nature removes it from evolution. So for example, at one time we had a lot of hair on our body. If you remember, even our previous generations, we used to have all the wisdom tooth, whereas the current generation, because we don't eat so much hard food that needs to be broken down, slowly this new generation, they don't have a wisdom tooth anymore, because evolution sees that it is not necessary anymore. So whatever is not required is eliminated by evolution. Now if we think about all the emotions that we have, let it be the so-called positive emotions like love and happiness and joy, or the so-called negative emotions like fear, anxiety, jealousy, all of these emotions have been present since 200,000 years and they have not changed. Nature has not eliminated a single emotion. That itself shows that all these emotions are equally important. But the thing is, we are kind of brought up, or because of our bombardment of information from the society, we kind of learn that happiness is the only way to be, and all the other emotions are kind of looked upon, and they're even called as negative emotions. Like for example, when you see a small child crying, you will immediately go and say, "Ah, don't cry." Or you see somebody is feeling fearful, you would say, "Ah, don't be afraid, don't be afraid." And we try to get rid of these emotions, and we give a lot of importance to happiness. See, in nature is all about balance. So if we try to run after happiness at the expense of not feeling any other emotion, then we won't even feel happy. I will repeat, happiness is balanced by emotions like sadness. So the more we just try to enhance happiness and not feel sadness, even our feelings of happiness go down. So if we can learn to feel all the emotions equally, that would be much more effective way. Second thing is, let us not confuse between a sense of happiness and sense of peacefulness or contentment. Happiness is more sensory dependent. So if you eat a nice piece of ice cream, or if you have nice food, you feel happy. So it is more sensory dependent, whereas a sense of contentment is not sensory dependent. So let us strive more to having this sense of contentment and not really run after happiness. To end, I would just like to share with you a saying from Zen. It says that the quickest and the most definite way of being unhappy is to run after happiness. So the more we run after happiness, the more unhappy we tend to become in life. So let's strive to be more content and not really just think about happiness.
Wow, very clear. I just remember the once I saw the movie Inside Out, and I think what you have explained, it's really very helpful. So people who haven't watched this movie, please watch. It's a very fantastic movie. And thank you, Salil. Very beautifully explained all the very big terms, positive thinking and confidence and happiness. So friends, if you like the video, as usual, do share and subscribe if you haven't yet subscribed to our channel. And thank you. Namaste. See you next week.